Hello and welcome to your FPL Game Week 13 Essential Guide. I'm your host Stephen Gallagher and today we're looking at all things Game Week 13. Let's get straight into it. Let's take a quick look at who's been conceding the least XG so far this season. At the top of the table, it is of course Arsenal, followed by a sizable gap down to Fulham and the rest of the teams, Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City, Brighton, Palace, Leeds and so on. It's surprising to see Fulham here second place. Of course they did keep a clean sheet to Sunderland in Game Week 12, but they've always kind of been one of those teams that has really good expected goals conceded data, but doesn't end up keeping a lot of clean sheets. So we'll see if they defy that logic over the next few game weeks and do end up keeping a few more clean sheets. If we compare each team's expected goals conceded with their fixture difficulty rating from a defensive perspective over the next 5 game weeks, we get this plot. We can see that Arsenal is on the far right of the plot. They have the best defensive data and their fixtures aren't too bad either. If we look at the top of the plot, we see basically the rest of the teams, maybe not as good defensively as Arsenal, but they do have good fixtures coming up. That's Newcastle, Liverpool, Brentford, Brighton, Forest, City, just to name a few. So which defenses should we be targeting? If we rank each team by their fixture difficulty multiplied by their defensive strength, we get this table which gives us an idea of who is most likely to keep clean sheets over the next 5 game weeks. Arsenal of course at the top of the table, maybe not the best fixtures coming up, but you can see their defensive strength is dragging them to the top of the table. They're far and above the best defense in the league so far. They have Chelsea away, followed by Brentford at home, Villa away, Wolves at home and then Everton away. If I was going for an Arsenal defender, obviously Gabriel is out injured at the moment, so Saliba and Timber are the 2 defenders that we can rely on to be in that team consistently, but it does look like Nketiah might be Gabriel's replacement in the short term, so he could be a good short term pick. Second in the table is Newcastle with Everton away, Spurs at home, Burnley at home, Sunderland away and then Chelsea at home. Some pretty good fixtures coming up for them, the Burnley and Sunderland fixture in particular. If you look at the 2 columns for fixture difficulty and defensive strength, they're kind of the opposite of Arsenal. Newcastle have the best fixtures coming up according to this model and Arsenal has the best defense, and it sort of balances out, and you can see they have 1.81 and then 1.8 for the fixture difficulty multiplied by the defensive strength, and then after that there's a big drop down to Brighton at 1.66. They've got Nottingham Forest away, Villa at home, West Ham at home, Liverpool away and then Sunderland at home. A few nice fixtures for Brighton in there. They're maybe not the best defense that we should be targeting, but the fixtures are definitely there to justify a move for someone like Van Heck in your team. On to the attackers. Let's have a quick look at who's been creating the most XG so far this season. At the top of the table, neck and neck, is Chelsea and Man City, followed by Arsenal, Palace, Liverpool, Man United, and then a bit of a jump down to Brighton and then another jump down to the rest of the table. If we compare each team's XG created with their fixture difficulty from an attacking perspective over the next 5 game weeks, we get this plot here. We can see in the top right of the plot, Man United, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, probably the teams with the best blend of good fixtures going forward, but also good non-pen XG per 90 so far this season. If you just want to go for the best attacks, on the far right of the plot is Chelsea, City, Arsenal, or if you really want to target the fixtures, it looks like Newcastle have the best fixtures coming up from an attacking perspective. So which attacks should we be targeting? If we rank each team by their fixture difficulty multiplied by their attacking strength, we get this table which gives us an idea of who is most likely to score goals over the next 5 game weeks. Palace at the top of the table with Man United at home, followed by Burnley away, Fulham away, Man City at home and then Leeds away. I think the Crystal Palace attacking assets like Mateta and Sarr have been pretty disappointing recently, so maybe over this run they can get a few more returns and justify their owners having them in their teams. Man United second in the table with Crystal Palace away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home and then Villa away. Really nice fixtures, and I've said it before, their fixtures stay nice all the way up until game week 21, so as a long-term hold, Man United attackers and defenders are actually a really good hold for the long term. In terms of who to go for, Bruno Fernandes has been pretty frustrating. I'm not sure he is worth the price tag, but he is just one of those players that if you have him, you are going to hold on to him with these fixtures, of course. Other than him, Mbeumo is obviously a good option and a very popular pick, but he will be going to AFCON in game week 16. And then obviously Cunha, he was out with a head injury apparently after the international break with Brazil, so we'll see when he is expected to come back for Man United. Third in the table are Liverpool with West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Brighton at home, and then Spurs away. They have some decent fixtures here, especially this one in Game Week 13 against West Ham. I think if you are going for a Liverpool attacker, now is the time to do so with this really nice fixture in Game Week 13. It's just about who do you go for. Szoboszlai, Gakpo. Salah is obviously the one that everyone wants in their team, but I'm just not sure he is worth the price tag at the moment. The way he's performing, it's not looking like he is worth the price tag, so we'll see if that changes. I know a lot of people who are free hitting this game week will be having Salah in their team, rightfully so. He's definitely someone that should be in every free hit team, but for those who aren't free hitting, I don't think he is worth the price tag. And if you're going elsewhere like Gakpo, there's obviously that rotation risk that you have to take into account. Looking at the rest of the table, Arsenal in 4th. Eze after a hat-trick will be a very popular pick. If you can nail down that 10 spot in Arsenal, I think he is a great pick going forward with these fixtures. Man City 5th in the table. Other than Haaland, it's really difficult to suggest another attacker. Newcastle, Harvey Barnes obviously had a good game, scored 2 goals against Man City. Again, just a bit of a minutes risk with Gordon back. You don't know, will he actually get those minutes? And then Brighton 7th place. I think Minta is another really popular pick, and rightfully so at his price and with the points that he's been getting. I do think he's a solid pick. If you're enjoying the video so far, then drop a like. It helps the channel a lot, and also subscribe if you haven't already. We're aiming for 10,000 subs by the end of the season, so join the community if you haven't already. On to the stats review, where we analyze the best performing players statistically. Players in red are the most expensive, in green are the cheapest, and the size of their bubble is relative to their minutes played. Starting with the goalkeepers, we're looking at expected goals conceded per 90 against their fixture difficulty from a defensive perspective. We can see Raya on the far right. Again, Arsenal defense has been the best this season. He's probably the most reliable keeper for just consistent points, but obviously he's going to cost that premium, which we can see because he's dark red. At the top of the plot, Pope has the best fixtures going forward. Also a premium keeper, but if you want to get those clean sheet points, you're going to have to go for one of the premium options. Moving on to defenders, we're looking at expected goal involvement per 90 against the fixture difficulty from a defensive perspective. Again, the Newcastle players, Dan Burn in the top left there. Below him are the Liverpool players with Van Dijk, followed by Konate, and then Kirkez. Kirkez actually has the best expected goal involvement, followed by Konate, who is higher than Van Dijk. I think a lot of people who went for Liverpool defenders last game week are kind of regretting that right now, but their fixtures do remain good over the next 3 game weeks, so I do think they are a hold. On the far right of the plot, we can see the players with the best expected goal involvement so far this season. Timber, Munoz, Calafiori, and O'Reilly is a really interesting one, because if he nails down that spot, which he looks to have done, he's a really good pick with City's upcoming fixtures. If we change from expected goal involvement to defensive contributions per 90, we can see where the likes of Van Dijk start to stand out with the amount of defensive contributions that they're making. Senesi on the far right of the plot. Left of him is Anderson at Fulham. Another great pick that if you had his points last game week, you're absolutely chuffed. Then it's Tarkowski, a bit of a mix with Richards, Lacroix, Keane also in the mix there. Moving on to midfielders, we're looking at expected goal involvement per 90 against the fixture difficulty from an attacking perspective this time. We can see that Mo Salah is starting to creep up into this plot, into the top right, which is where we want to see players. He's still not doing enough to justify his price tag, and because of his price, everyone else in this plot is green, so we're going to remove him from the plot to get a better look at the price of the rest of the midfielders. Bruno Fernandes in the top right with really good expected goal involvement, decent fixtures coming up as well. Mbeumo just below him in terms of the goal involvement. To the left of them, we can see Sarr for Crystal Palace, still putting up good expected data. Below him, Semenyo. To the right, Gakpo. Below them, the Arsenal players, you can see Saka and Eze with really good expected goal involvement, but maybe not the best fixtures coming up. And then below them, Ndiaye, another similar case, not the best fixtures, but he is a solid option in terms of his expected data. And then below them, at the bottom of the plot with the worst fixtures, are the Chelsea lads with Neto and Enzo. On the far right, Enzo actually has the most expected goal involvement per 90 of any midfielder in the game so far, but his fixtures are really tough coming up. If we instead look at defensive contributions per 90, we can see the Newcastle players at the top starting to stand out. Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, but the players that are really getting a lot of DEFCON, and a player that I'm really interested in getting in, is Anderson at Forest. We said at the start of the season he would be one of these players, and he has shown that. We can also see Xhaka, Ampadu, Polina, Gomez and Caicedo standing out as options who are getting a lot of the DEFCON points. Onto the forwards, we can see Haaland on the far right in terms of expected goal involvement per 90. He's just got to be in our teams. He keeps putting up more and more expected data. Anyone who didn't captain him got really lucky. Anyone who did captain him got really unlucky last game week because he had a lot of chances. He just couldn't put them away. If we remove Haaland to get a better look at the price of the rest of the forwards, we can see Jean-Philippe Mateta in the top right, exactly where you want a player to be on this plot in the top right. It means he has good fixtures coming up, but also good expected data. Below him is Thiago, another option that I think is really interesting, and probably the top 3 forwards that you want in your team right now are Haaland, Mateta, and then Thiago. On to captaincy for Game Week 13, I think Haaland has to be the top spot. He's legitimately a triple captaincy option. I think there are other game weeks that you can go for it, but now is definitely an option to go for. Leeds at home, you're going to be doing well to get a better fixture than that, so I definitely think he's an option for triple captaincy. Second in my captaincy rankings is Mo Salah against West Ham away. Yes, West Ham have been improving over the past few game weeks, and Liverpool have been regressing this season in general, but I do think this is a good fixture for Salah to recover here. And then Thiago in third place, not a player that I'd have expected to put in my captaincy rankings, but he is really a solid option this season. He's been getting a lot of penalties, but it's against Burnley at home. He's going to be getting chances, and if he can get another penalty, then he's a great captaincy option. If you want to see a free hit team, I'm going to be doing another video this week before the deadline, so tune in for that one. If you're still watching, then like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, we're aiming for 10,000 subs by the end of the season, so join the community if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, have a good one.